Hey Yitzy, it's I think time for another episode of Brickmania TV. Woohoo! Cool. All right, welcome back, Brickmaniacs. We have another kit designed by our very own Yitzy. What do we have here, Yitzy?
This would be the Italian self-propelled gun Semovente da 7518. Cute little Lego tank in wartime, and wasn't so cute.
Right. Cool. So this is all new tank you put together for us, and it'll be for sale shortly or right now.
Yeah. Price to sell.
Price to sell.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a cute little kit.
Totally. So this kit is your latest creation, and before we talk about some of the build features on this, we're going to get a little bit of history from our very own Professor Fitz. So hold on for that. Hey Fitz, welcome back. So you're here to talk about some history on this model. Go for it.
Yes.
Go for it.
This is the Italian Semovente da 7518.
Right.
And that's the best I'm going to do on the pronunciation.
Sure.
So for somebody else out there who knows how to pronounce that, feel free to let us know.
Yes.
So this is basically was designed, like I said, by the Italians, and it was designed kind of to resemble the German StuG. It has kind of the same look, the same idea. It could be used for both kind of armor-to-armor combat. Could also be used for kind of an indirect support fire, artillery fire. And it was deployed fairly heavily in North Africa, where it actually had some success against the M3 Lee and the M4 Sherman. But like many, like many Italian vehicles, it was never produced in large enough quantities to really stem the tide of Allied armor. And then obviously it was used in Italy after the Allies invaded Italy. And after Italy surrendered, Germany basically seized what was left of these and used them for the continued campaign.
Right.
Couple notable things about it. Like I said, it's modeled after a StuG. It had a 3-man crew, and one of the major problems with it is that it was extremely cramped. It's actually smaller than a StuG, just slightly, and the inside was not very well suited for people. as odd as that sounds. Wow. And then on top of that, it also was prone to overheating problems and mechanical breakdowns, as was many of pieces of the armor out in the desert in North Africa. Yeah, that's really
when it was functioning correctly. What was its effectiveness in battle? It was
actually fairly effective. Like I said, it enjoyed some success against the Allied armor, and the for instance the Lee and the Sherman, like I said, were the two main pieces of Allied armor. It did well. It just, like I said, they only made like 200 to 300 of them, so there weren't really a whole lot to work. There wasn't really a whole lot to work with.
Right. Do you know off the top of your head some notable battles or campaigns that it would have been part of? Obviously, North Africa, but.
Yeah, I mean, and basically anything involving North Africa or Sicily.
Right.
Those are really the two places you would have seen it. And then after the Germans took them, just in the battle for Italy up until the end of the war, I mean, I don't actually know if there's any surviving models of it. I would bet there probably is, but yeah, like I said, North Africa primarily is where you're looking at, like Tunisia, El Alamein, places like that, where the Italians would have been in coordination with the Germans.
Cool. All right, that's super interesting. And back to Yitzy now. Thanks, Fitz.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yitzy, you are back.
And we're back.
We're back. So that was an interesting little history portion. So now, let's talk about some build features.
Yeah. So first things first, it's got Brickmania track links, brown.
Yeah.
One wide. They do roll. Don't roll so great on the glass over here, but I'm sure if you're, you know,
Different surfaces work better.
Italian desert.
That is a constant thing that we have to like make considerations for. Like some tanks, just their design makes the track links roll easier. Sometimes we get lucky. Sometimes like this still it does totally. It's articulate. Fully articulates. But yeah, different surfaces work better.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a little hit and miss. Sometimes if you scrunch the bricks a little better, a little tighter, they'll roll better. But you know, if you have one plate that's a little bit off, it's making it a little tighter.
Right.
What can you do? Actually, in this case, these fenders were kind of tight. If I had kept them level, they were actually rubbing on the track and they would catch. In our design process, we get all the designers together and review it. So whenever it was, a couple weeks ago or something, I presented this to the design group, and I said, okay, here's what I got. What do you guys see? And someone would pick it up, and like Cody would be like, hey, track's too tight.
Right.
It's hitting on that thing. So I'm like, okay, thank you for that. I go back to the drawing board, try and figure out how to make that work. In this case, the tracks actually angle up.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a feature you see on, I don't know if it's a feature, but something defined that you see on these tanks, like the Italian, the Cairo Armato, some of the other, the Semovente, 9053, the 105, that was their style, whoever modeled it. And actually, I kind of copied this bogey design off of Cody's Cairo Armato, and then Dan made a prototype Semovente 9053, and he modified it because I had to be a little longer, and then I modified it.
I mean, but in real life, they're based off of each other to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that we're modeling a little off of each other is similar to real life.
Yeah.
So when these do go up a little bit at the top, they were kind of hitting, and then I basically figured out how to get those up, and I actually really like how they blended right into that front glacis, that armor there.
Right.
And it really tucked in nice.
Cool.
So I'm satisfied with how that came out.
Yeah, I like the panels right here that blends in nicely.
And they just worked out just right, just at the right. I mean, you don't always get lucky with the spacing, so that worked out really nice. It's a small tank, so how many features and stuff can you get in there? But that was one thing I was happy we did get. All right, so one thing that I did on this, and I don't know if we've ever had any other Brickmania kits that have had a double-sided head.
Oh, so this is a stock Lego head, actually.
It is. It's a stock Lego head, but I included.
Actually, John does occasionally include double-sided printed faces, but it isn't. It is not very common for us to do.
Yeah, it's not very common.
Lego.
There you go.
Kind of
so
funny.
It's not the first, but yeah, so we got the smirk or whatever on one side and the wink on the other side, so that's cool. And then this is the Lego hat, but then you got the printing 360.
Yeah, the 360 figure. It's got that bandolier that would work in unison with that pistol holster on the side, and then those leather boots. It's interesting. It's actually a similar design to World War I Australian boots. So I don't know which came first. It's just kind of interesting to see that uniform crossover. Also, that helmet, as we've noted, we've seen this figure, a similar version of this figure before, but this helmet, it is the actual. It is what it looks like.
Yeah, it is.
So it's just funny seeing a Star Wars helmet, like kind of in real life.
Yeah.
Star Wars is obviously getting their information from somewhere. So, right. So, what else?
All right. So one quick little thing on this is besides for the tracks sloping back, the top of the vehicle actually slopes back a little, and with these modified tiles, I did get a little bit of an angle on it. Yeah, you can get the whole thing.
It's still pretty flush, which is nice, but you get a subtle angle there. Which is
cool. So I was happy that it worked out that way. Get the accuracy. So these hatches opened up, and it's kind of hard to open up right now here. So what I did is I made the entire thing off.
So it's just held on by a few studs.
Yeah, just a couple studs in there. So
I always appreciate when the builders do that.
Yeah, so that's completely intentional. As few studs as possible, so you're not pulling the whole thing apart, but not too many studs. So too few studs would just fall off, and too many would be very difficult. I also made the the gun on a ball joint. I found a picture when I was doing research on it with double hinges, double joints for the gun to rotate, traverse and elevate and depress. So I thought I'd put that ball joint in there so that the gun could go different ways. It doesn't, I don't know how far up and down and side to side it would go, but it would do a little bit.
Yeah.
So I found that picture, so that was neat.
That's
to
an
throw in.
interesting technique right there. So it's just a Lego bar going straight through a technical ball joint.
Ball
correct?
joint, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's simple.
And
Simple but effective.
guy does fit inside there. I don't know, you might be able to get 2.
Just like in real life.
Yep. And so you got the double hatches for the engine in the back. Those flip flop, so you can do.
Yeah, that's
one
another
or the
nice
other.
subtle slope there to it.
The little engine inside.
Yeah, it's cool. It's both functioning slope on the back end, and it's also a
Yes,
The
that's
actual
one thing that I
flap.
saw with the tank, that these hatches do have a little bit of an angle slope right and left, and that's exactly what we created here. It's just subtle enough, but they also work as intended with the hatches.
And you have that simulated engine block there. I'm sorry, I popped this off. Oh
Yeah.
no! Breaking Lego live on TV. I'll fix it quick. I like how you have that yellow engine block in there. That's kind of cool.
I don't know if it was actually yellow, but
And that wasn't uncommon to paint things brighter colors, whites or yellows. So.
but as far as
One
making,
can imagine.
as far as making kits go, that part is a little bit cheaper than other parts. So
Sure.
your benefit makes the kit a little cheaper. And then the figure, of course, goes inside. You can open one or both hatches. And last but not least, this antenna can either go up vertically or you click it in horizontally. You got your little headlights there for them to see at night, and of course for the allies to see them and take them out.
Cool. That's it.
And you got your mufflers there, and off you go.
So this, it's a solid little tank here. One of the cooler tanks we've had in a little bit. So it's nice getting some Italian stuff. We've had people begging for Italian stuff forever, so it's cool.
We
that we're
do. We
actually
get a
working.
lot of requests, and
Yeah.
we keep chalking it up. And every time it's another one, we put one more check. Okay, 37 people want this one. Okay, 200 people want that one. All right, let's do it.
Right on, right on. Cool. All right, that is the latest kit from Brickmania. For more information on this kit, please check out brickmania.com. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to click that bell as well.
Ding.
For every single click we get on the bell, we will make Yitzy, I don't know. For every single click we get on the bell, Yitzy has to build another tank.
Sure, that works for me. Does it work
Thousands
for
and
you?
thousands of tanks.
Why not?
This is a legally binding contract, and you have to.
I'm up for the task. Let's do it.
Cool.
Ding that bell when you make more tanks.
Thanks for watching.